Is America still the land of opportunity, or is it Rome before the fall? You decide. Cicero is believed to have said something like this in 55 BC. The arrogance of officialdom should be tempered and controlled, and assistance to foreign hands should be curtailed, lest Rome fall. Sound familiar? With nearly $15 trillion in debt, still giving nearly $40 billion in foreign aid, will our story end like Rome's? Big government, big promises. Slow-growing economy can't keep all those promises. Let's bring in John Doggett. He teaches global competition at the University of Texas at Austin. John, you show your students slides like this. This is the Chinese city of Shenzhen. We're going to show this picture. In 1979, only about 30,000 people lived there. That's it on the left. Fast forward to 2010, the same city boasts a population of more than 10 million people. Look at that. I mean, it is a skyline that is unbelievable. According to the consulting firm McKinsey, by 2025, China will build the equivalent of up to 2 Chicagos every single year. John, in your lectures, you tell America to stop whining and start competing.
Yes, you know, Christine, the issue is very simple. We have new competitors who are working really hard. They're doing a great job, and we have a choice. We either complain about them like we complained about the Japanese and say, oh, they shouldn't compete, or we accept the fact that these guys are going to do the best job they can to improve their economy, and we have to do the same thing. And so I tell my students and I tell people across the country, it's time to stop whining. It's time to start playing some serious ball.
I want to bring in Alfred Edmond. He's the editor-in-chief of Black Enterprise for Multimedia. You know, how do we get opportunity back? How do we do it?
Well, one of the things we have to do, and I think Americans are doing, is redefining what opportunity means. It used to be, I apply for a job, I go to school, I apply for a job, and I get a job, and I do a good job. Now it's much broader, it's much less clearly defined. It means maybe freelancing, it means consulting, it means starting a side business or a side hustle, and trying to get a job and maintain a job.
This is why people feel so unsettled, because they feel as though there's no clear path for them, and they see the rest of the world rising quickly. You know, they see what's happening in China, opportunity in China, and then here we're feeling like, what are we supposed to do?
Well, I happen to think that we do ourselves a disservice when we worry about the rest of the world. You know, I tell people, run your own race. What's happening in China impacts you, so you should be aware. But it shouldn't be what you're thinking about as you're trying to decide what is the best way for me to provide for myself, provide for my family, and to seek out the opportunities
Start
I need
it for
to
yourself.
achieve my goals.
I mean, you're really into entrepreneurship.
Definitely into entrepreneurship. We have the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference every year, which amazingly, or maybe not so amazingly, does better in bad economies. More people, either by force or by choice, say, there's this thing I've always wanted to do. I'm not working. Now is the time for me to do it.
Maybe that's a silver lining. You know, John, you point out also in your lectures that boomers lived through the glory days in this country, and now they're sort of desperate not to lose any of the promises that they've been granted in this new period of American austerity. I mean, I don't mean to blame the boomers, but the boomers really had it good, and they want to make sure they keep it.
Well, I'm a boomer, and I'm going to blame my generation. We took the government's credit card and spent it up to the max and then broke the credit card. And now we're saying the government's broke, we have all this debt, but don't touch our Social Security, don't touch our Medicare, don't touch any of our entitlements. And that just doesn't make any sense. If we're going to turn our economy around, we boomers are going to have to take part of the responsibility for getting us in this mess. And right now I'm not hearing that from boomers.
You know, Alfred, we look to government for solutions, but, you know, some of the promises that have been made, you say look to yourself. Don't look for the government to help you out here at this point.
Well, don't rely on the government. I mean, our generation, I'm a boomer too, and our parents' generation really trusted institutions, whether it was government or the big company they worked for, to kind of provide for them. And now we know we can't rely on them. That doesn't mean we shouldn't expect anything from them. But we really do have to adopt a model of personal responsibility in addition to institutional support. And I think that's really going to end up being a good thing in the long run. I agree with John. The greatness of America was always that, we made decisions that were good for us today, but we always thought about future generations. Certainly in the African-American community, that was a big part of our culture. We thought about what was best for future generations. If we're going to return to greatness, we have to do that again.
Are we Rome before the fall, Alfred?
No, we're not even close to that yet.
John, are we Rome before the fall?
There's no way. We're America and we can turn this thing around, but we have to be responsible to the younger generation, and we have to stop whining, and we have to understand that what made this country great was entrepreneurship, and if we don't get back to that, then we're going to have some real problems.